Today, we are going to talk about the meal pattern for children. We are going to focus on grains in the Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP. For this training, we will be using the meal pattern chart for children that has been updated for October 2019. On the left-hand side, the meal pattern lists 3 types of meal occasions, which are breakfast, lunch or dinner, and snack. Under each meal or snack, it lists the components which you may think of as food groups that must be served in order to claim each type of meal or snack on the food program. There are several choices of foods to choose from for some of the components. For example, for grain choices at snack, you can choose to serve bread, a variety of bread products such as biscuits, rolls, or muffins, or cooked breakfast cereal, or ready-to-eat breakfast cereal. To the right, it lists the minimum amount of food that must be served to each age group at each meal or snack. If you need a copy of the meal pattern for children, log on to our website, contact the Daycare Resources Office, or ask your program advisor. All grains that are served on the food program must be whole grain rich, enriched, or fortified. I'd like to take a moment to explain what each of these terms means. Whole grains are the closest to the way that grains grow in nature. When grain seeds are harvested, they are whole and have all of their parts. The bran is the hard outer shell that contains fiber and B vitamins. The germ contains vitamins and antioxidants. These 2 layers have disease-fighting substances like phytochemicals and antioxidants. The inner core, or endosperm, is mostly made of carbohydrates and some protein. Whole grains are so good for us that the Dietary Guidelines for Americans recommend that we should eat whole grains at least half of the time. To help children eat more whole grains, the food program started requiring 1 whole grain rich serving each day in 2017. This can be a food that is a 100% whole grain food, such as whole wheat bread, or a food that is at least half whole grain. For these products, the first ingredient must be a whole grain, and any other grain ingredients must be either enriched or whole grain. Let's look at the examples on the screen. Both of these products have a whole grain first ingredient, whole wheat flour. The second ingredient is enriched. For the second product, there is a third ingredient that is whole grain, which is oats. Facilities must serve 1 whole grain rich item per day. This applies on days where grains are required and served. For example, if a facility only serves after-school snacks and serves apples and milk, this is creditable. But since no grain is served at the only snack of the day, no whole grains are required on this day. However, if the facility chooses to serve graham crackers and milk, the graham crackers would have to be whole grain. Just be sure to mark whole grains on your menu so you get credit for them. Log into our website at www.daycareresources.org to find lists of whole grain cereals and whole grain foods. A few of the many creditable products are shown here. When grain is refined, the outer layers are peeled off and we're left with the inner core, which is mostly carbohydrates. While refining grains allows us to keep foods fresh longer without spoiling, it also removes a lot of nutrients. If you look at the bar graph, the green bars show the nutrients that are naturally in grains of wheat. The red bars show what nutrients are left after the wheat is refined and the outer layers are peeled off. Up to 25% of the protein and most of the fiber is lost, along with most of the vitamins, minerals, and disease-fighting phytochemicals. Some companies add back 5 of the vitamins and minerals that were lost during processing to enrich them. This is shown by the yellow bars. When you see the word enriched, 5 vitamins and minerals have been added: thiamine, or vitamin B1, riboflavin, or vitamin B2, niacin, or vitamin B3, iron, and folic acid, or vitamin B9. If you look at this ingredient label for white bread, enriched flour is the first ingredient. The ingredients in parentheses are the ingredients in the enriched flour. you'll see wheat flour, which has been refined since we don't see anything that says it's a whole grain. Then we see 5 vitamins and minerals to enrich the flour: niacin, iron, thiamine, riboflavin, and folic acid. Many breakfast cereals are fortified. This means that vitamins and minerals have been added to boost nutrition. You may see the word fortified on the box or a list of vitamins and minerals on the ingredient list. Next, we are going to look at the grain requirement chart. This is on the back page of the meal pattern chart that has been updated for October 2019. Keep in mind that some of the foods on the grain chart have more sugar, salt, or fat, or are served with toppings high in sugar, salt, or fat. Try to serve these items less often or offer healthy toppings. You may notice that the grain chart has serving sizes in grams and ounces. This is because USDA measures grains by weight. This helps make sure that recipes turn out the same way every time. This can help save time, money, and frustration. For example, my great-grandma made the best homemade egg noodles I've ever eaten. The problem is, she was the only one who could ever get them to turn out. When I finally got the recipe, I found out why. The recipe asked for ingredients like 3 handfuls of flour. Just like no one is going to precisely match the amount of flour in Grandma's hand, the amount of ingredients in 1 cup can vary a lot as well. For example, is the cup just barely full? Is it level with the top, or is it overflowing? Using weight helps recipes come out consistently every time so that no matter who has the recipe, you usually come out with the same results. For example, let's compare 1 cup of flour, oats, and puffed rice cereal. They all take up the same amount of space or volume, but they all have very different weights. Flour is the heaviest and weighs over 4 ounces in 1 cup. Puffed rice cereal is a real lightweight, weighing in at just half an ounce for 1 cup. For this reason, the serving sizes you see listed on the grain requirements chart are based on weights. All of the portions for school-age children on this chart are equal to a 1 ounce serving of grain or 1 ounce equivalent. An ounce equivalent is a serving of a grain or a bread item that has the same amount of creditable grains as a 1 ounce piece of bread. For example, 1 ounce equivalent slice of bread is made with 16 grams of creditable grain ingredients such as whole wheat flour, oats, or enriched flour. The rest of the ingredients, like water, eggs, sugar, and yeast, weigh about 12 grams. That adds up to 1 ounce in the final piece of baked bread. It's usually not too hard to get 16 grams of grain ingredients. For example, when you're making a recipe, 16 grams of enriched or whole grain wheat flour is approximately 2 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon. There are 7 groups of grain foods on the grain requirements chart. If you look at Group A of the grains chart, it contains grain foods that are plain. This group includes savory crackers like goldfish, cheese crackers, saltines, hard pretzels, and rice cakes. Items in Group B have a few more ingredients than Group A. For example, there is oil in the tortilla chips and sugar in sweet crackers, like animal or graham crackers. When you take the recipe for plain crackers and add ingredients like fat and sugar, it will take a larger serving to get the same amount of grain. That's why Group B's serving size is just a bit larger. Keep in mind that since dessert items like granola bars, cereal bars, cakes, and cookies are not allowed on the Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP, they have been left out. For example, there are no creditable foods in Groups F or G for our program, so you don't see them on the chart. The grain requirements chart can help you figure out how much to serve to each child in your care. To use the chart, look at the serving size on the package of food you want to serve. Then check the chart to see whether the amount on the package is enough to meet the minimum serving size. Keep in mind that these are minimums and you are always welcome to serve more food. Also, if you want to serve a food that is not listed on the grain chart, check with your sponsor first to make sure it is allowed on the food program. For your convenience, we added pictures to show serving sizes of foods that are commonly served in daycare facilities. There is a column with a half-ounce equivalent serving, which is the amount required for ages 1 to 5. That's about 4 saltines, a half a slice of bread, half of a 4-inch pancake, half of a 2-ounce muffin, or a quarter cup of cooked rice. The column to the right shows serving sizes for a 1-ounce equivalent serving for ages 6 and older. School-age children would need 7 saltines, a 1-ounce slice of bread, 1 4-inch pancake, 1 2-ounce muffin, or a half a cup of cooked rice. Let's look at a label. We're going to look at saltine crackers. The serving size on the package says 5 crackers. The label says 5 crackers weigh 16 grams. Savory crackers are in Group A of the grain chart. The chart says that a 1 to 5-year-old needs 11 grams of savory crackers like saltines. So 5 crackers would be enough for a 1 to 5-year-old. However, for a child who is age 6 or older, you would need more crackers. It would take about 7 crackers or 22 grams for a child age 6 or older, which is more than the serving size on the package. Let's look at bagels. Bagels are in Group B with a serving size of 28 grams. When we look at the package, one bagel weighs 95 grams. That's a little over 3 servings of grain in each bagel. Since it would be hard to divide a bagel in thirds, we would just serve a half bagel to meet the serving size for school-age children. A 1 to 5-year-old would only need a quarter of a bagel. For small children, it may be wiser to buy mini bagels for age-appropriate serving sizes. 1 mini bagel is a serving for a school-age child. 1 half of a mini bagel serves a 1 to 5-year-old. When we look at cereals, you will see there are 4 types of cereal listed in Group I. Flakes are grains that are crushed and rolled out flat into flakes. Examples include corn flakes and shredded wheat that is flaked and formed into biscuits. Rounds are grains that are formed into O shapes such as Cheerios. Puffed cereals are grains that are popped into light, fluffy shapes. Popped cereals include puffed wheat, Chex, Life, and Rice Krispies. They are the lightest and have the largest serving size. Granola are heavy and dense nuggets. They are the heaviest and have the smallest serving size. Keep in mind, no matter what kind of cereal you serve, all breakfast cereals must have 6 grams or less sugar in 1 dry ounce to count them as a grain on your menu. There are some great ways to get kids involved in learning about grains as well. Kids may enjoy finding things that weigh 1 ounce, such as counting the number of coins it takes to get the scale to the 1 ounce mark. Older kids may enjoy guessing how many coins it will take to practice estimation. Just keep in mind, if you're working with kids that like to put things in their mouths, keep your eyes on any items you are counting. Some manipulatives, such as coins, can be choking hazards. Another idea to get kids involved is to estimate serving sizes using a DVD case. 1 ounce equivalent is about 1 slice of bread, which is about the size and thickness of a DVD case. You can compare the size of a DVD case to a few bread items in your kitchen. Some items take creative thinking. An 8-inch tortilla is thinner than a DVD case, but if you open up the DVD case, it's about the same size. Here's an idea to help teach size, shape, and patterns. You may have noticed that there are a lot of different shapes and sizes of graham crackers. To show how many graham crackers count as a serving, you can trace a DVD case on a paper towel and then have kids figure out how many grams it takes to fit in that space. You can even show kids how to make a serving using the grain chart. If you have a food scale, you can weigh out how many crackers it takes to get at least 22 grams or 0.8 ounce on the food scale. If not, you can use the package information and the grain chart to figure out how many crackers make a serving. Crackers make great math tools, and kids often enjoy counting out crackers. Looking at Group B, you can have kids find out how many sweet crackers or tortilla chips make a serving. If you don't have a food scale, compare the serving size on the package to the minimum serving on the grain requirements chart. Cereal makes a great learning tool as well. Grab a few different kinds of cereal and have kids compare them. Ask kids which cereals seem to be the heaviest and which seem to be the lightest. Then measure out servings for each kind of cereal. Ask kids why they think the serving sizes are different. The answer is that lighter cereals have a bigger serving size and heavier cereals have a small serving size. That wraps up our overview of serving grains using the meal pattern and grain chart. If you have any questions, such as if a product counts on the food program, feel free to contact Daycare Resources. We are available by phone, email, or at your next visit. Make sure to take the 2019 meal pattern test on our website if you need training hours. Remember, all DCR providers must complete 2 hours of food program training each year. Thank you for joining us and have a great day.